This is the Metal Queens podcast. I'm Steve Richards. On this episode of the MQP, we have the frontwoman of Charlotte, North Carolina's own gothic metal powerhouse, Lilith Rising, with haunting vocals, heavy riffs, and a sound that channels the dark divine feminine. This band has carved out a place where melody meets myth and power meets vulnerability. Joining me, Taryn Nichole, the voice and vision behind the band's intoxicating blend of gothic rock and symphonic metal. Welcome to the Metal Queens podcast, Taryn.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. That bio definitely pumps me up, doesn't it?
You like that? I had a feeling you'd like that,
Yeah.
yes. All right, so let's
Yeah.
start from the beginning. You've been with the band for a bit now. How did Lilith
Mhm.
Rising come to life, and what inspired the name?
We started as well, it was actually me and Alan. We started together in 2020 in another band called Winter Solstice, which is no longer a band anymore. When I joined, I was a replacement vocalist. And then the last original member left besides Alan, and we decided to rebrand because we weren't really doing music that we wanted to do. So we decided to use go the direction of more like gothic metal, symphonic, blending like other things that we like doing together. And Lilith Rising came out of the one of the first singles that we released was called Dear Lilith. I actually wrote that song before we became Lilith Rising. Alan was saying a bunch of names, like Latin names that mean like I love bacon. They were all trying to do these Latin names, and I'm like, it's not really going to work. I want people to pronounce our names. So, because I have the hardest problem pronouncing the Latin symphonic
Yeah,
metal band names too.
yeah, it's hard,
And
yeah.
then, so yeah. So, hopefully you can't hear the dog growl, like howling in the background.
Just a, no, just
But
a,
we
it's a nice
went
background
back.
noise, yeah.
He's like, I want to get out. We had a bunch of names, but Lilith was like the thing that I really liked because it encompasses like taking back your power. It's about the dark feminine. And that's not excluding men in this. Like everybody has both a male and female like power inside of them. And it's about owning that and like bringing it back. And I had come from a really toxic relationship in the past. Um, so it was a lot about my journey of bringing back my own power.
Mm.
And the group at the time loved it. So we went with that name. No one else was using it currently. It also, there's a band called Incubus Succubus, and one of their title albums is called Lilith Rising too. And I was like, that's cool because I really like the band as well. So it's kind of a tribute to a couple different things within myself and outside of myself too.
So these guys are all of you are new to this band in the last 4 or 5 years, right?
Yeah, so we started in 2020. Alan was, and then there's me. We're the original founding members. We went through a couple different guitarists and bassists and even a keyboard player. If you go back and you watch Dear Lilith, there's completely different people in that one. And like with some bands and things like that, some personalities don't match. Some people have less like interest in pursuing the band as a less of a hobby and more of a passion, which is what we were kind of going through. So we finally found Jason and Russ in 2023, I believe, and everything just meshes so well. Jason's great. He is the one that produces the music. He's mixing and mastering and all that. Russ actually, as a bassist, also is a guitarist, so he also writes. So I was really surprised that he came out with a couple different songs that are going on the new album that should already be out by now. And everybody just works really well together. Alan writes stuff, he writes lyrics. I write the majority of the lyrics. I also write melodies. So it's a really great group that we have going on at this point.
Yeah, it
And
sounds like a
I'm
true
really
collaboration on the
excited.
songwriting.
Yeah, I haven't had this much collaboration in a band ever. And I've been
Mm.
in bands since I was 16 years old. So it's really great to have that. Everybody's doing a job. Everybody has a job and not one person is slacking off.
We're gonna check.
Unless unless I'm just like in a hurry, and then I'm like, everybody's slacking off.
We're going to talk about the new album coming up. It's called Not Another Eve. It is out now. But I want to go back to your past a bit. So you said you've been playing in bands since you were 16. How about growing up? Was music in your house?
Not really in my house. Me and my stepsister were both singers. So we both had vocal talents and things like that. I grew up in a church, a Methodist church, so I was in choir constantly.
Mm.
I was very much of like a ham, so I wanted attention, and singing tended to be the way that I got the attention that I wanted. So I would sing and pester my brothers, and I was in choir when I was in church. I convinced people to let me take like traditional vocal lessons. I was in choir in high school. Music just became my thing. Like, I had this therapist when I was a child where she was just like, you need to find a way to express your anger and your angst and things like that in a healthy way. And music became one of those healthy ways, writing lyrics and all that. So no, it wasn't in my house really, but it was a huge part of what was my outlet, you know?
Yeah.
So I joined bands of like when I was around like 15, 16 years old. I started joining bands. None of them I can name to this day. But they were like the helping of like getting out all of that crazy teenage Taryn in my head, you know. And then I also took opera training too when I was a teenager. So I've had classical training as well as opera training for a short amount of time. And yeah, that's where I'm coming from now.
When you're writing for Lilith Rising, what usually comes first, the lyrics, the melody, or the concept?
It depends on my mood. The lyrics typically come first, but for instance, Dear Lilith was kind of implanted in my head when I was sleeping. So the melody plus the lyrics were playing at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I woke up and I started writing them down. And then I was singing the melody into my phone. So I was like, I'm not losing this.
Right.
A little bit. I started when I actually joined the band that was previously before Lilith Rising. I started putting a notebook next to my side table. And I would write in it anytime inspiration came up because I wanted to use the opportunity that I had to contribute to that band and then future bands and stuff. So with those, the melody sometimes and the lyrics sometimes get delivered to my head and I have to write them down. Other times I'm thinking about concept. I'm pulling from a place of sadness or pulling from a place of joy, or it's a lot of sadness, honestly. But there's also places of joy and like coming back and being powerful that I pull from too. So sometimes it's lyrics, sometimes it's melody. It's very little about concept. Because I don't deal in concepts, I just deal in my truth, I guess. So, and then some of the lyrics, like I said, Alan writes some of the lyrics too. He'll write shorter parts and then I'll expand on them. So there's a song that's going to go on the next album, not the new album, but the next one that Alan and I kind of wrote together.
Yeah, I guess you have to really capture it in the moment, whether it's at 3 a.m. or wherever you are, and you know, either use your voice recorder on your phone or so you don't lose it, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah, I have a ton of voice recordings on my phone that I just turn it on while I'm driving to and from band practice. I have this idea in my head, so I'm gonna put it there. And who knows when it's going to be used.
Your lyrics touch on themes like transformation and the dark feminine. Can you talk about what those themes mean to you personally?
So personally, I come from abuse, I guess. So childhood and both also relationships and things like that. So transformation is very much a thing of owning, instead of being like a victim, I'm a survivor, you know, owning the fact that I've survived so much in my life and I've come out the other end. I've had a lot of people say it, you have a big light. that you put out into the world. I can feel that light, and it's great to be graced by it. So the fact that I've been through so much and yet I still have a positive effect on others is really great. And then taking back the power that was stolen from me from years of that happening is a really big message that I want to give to other people. And just getting all the stuff out of my head because it's got to go somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, so I got to get all the stuff out of my head, and hopefully it touches someone else. It helps someone else through an experience, because that's, as songwriters, that's what we want to do. If like one or two people are just better for the music, I've done my job, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So the new album, Not Another Eve, that is the title. The video to the title track, Not Another Eve, is out. You can check that out on streaming platforms. What's the story behind that title track?
Well, Not Another Eve comes from basically a follow-up of Dear Lilith. And I had an idea in my head about our logo, because in Latin it says, in a world of Eves be a Lilith, you know. So it's basically like standing out from the crowd. Again, taking back your power. Being more powerful than the bullshit that came before you, you know? And as an album, that's what I feel like it is. It's not a concept album, but it is, every single song is kind of talking about powerful things. And it's, standing out from the crowd, not being just another cog in the machine or just another person that gets lost in the crowd. It's about standing out. And with the hair and the makeup and stuff like that, I do stand out. But
just a little bit, yes.
Yeah. Personality wise, I feel like it's also about standing out. Personality wise, it's also about standing up for others, and not being complacent in the world that we're in.
How do you want listeners to feel after experiencing a Lilith Rising song or show?
I usually want them to feel elated. The biggest feedback I get is hauntingly beautiful and excited for the next thing to come is what I want. So elated is the biggest thing. Being able to release any of the pent up energy they have in us. We're not necessarily a band that you can mosh to, though we do have some songs on the album that might be able to mosh to. But if they've felt some release of any of the negative energy that's within them come out during the show, that would make me happy. And I've heard that feedback. So
you were playing some shows this summer. You did CD release parties. What's the touring plans for the rest of the fall and early next year?
Well, we have some Halloween shows that are coming up. So we are going to be kind of local, and some of our band is located in Gastonia, North Carolina. So we're going to be doing a local show there. That one is a festival for women, kind of like around women. So it's called Ladylike. That's the festival for it. We'll have more information online if you go and look. I cannot remember everybody that's on it, but it's going to be a really cool festival. And then we're kind of slowing down towards November. We do have a bunch of other shows that are going to come up, but we're kind of slowing down and we're getting ready for 2026. So our plan is hopefully to do longer tours. So 2 a week or 2 weeks to go out and see people that want to see us that we haven't been able to get to. So going a little bit further away from the East Coast, trying to get more towards Central, maybe towards the West Coast. I'm not sure. But those are our biggest plans right now. Is we're going to take a little break after November, and we're going to go and push on to an actual tour. So right now we've been kind of doing weekend shows. So like we go to Ohio, and we've been to West Virginia, and we've been to Pennsylvania, but we want to go to more places outside the East Coast. We're also going to Florida. That'll be our first time in Florida. That'll be November. Oh crap. It'll be on the website. It'll be
Yeah, check
posted
out their
everywhere.
website. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do have a bunch of shows. If you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and that kind of thing, we do have a November, and I believe it's November 1st. It's like the first week of November. We're going to Florida for the first time, and that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
And then we're taking, as far as I know, we're taking a little bit of break, and then we're planning for 2026. And then
Cool.
starting the new album again. We're
And
going to
then
start a whole nother album.
a second album, because you teased that earlier. So this one is out now, but another one coming hopefully late next year
Yeah.
as well. Influences for you. Symphonic metal influences. Who are they?
The first band that I fell in love with when I was 15 is Nightwish.
Yeah.
So I was introduced to them by my boyfriend at the time, which is funny because like 20 years passed and then we reconnected and we're starting to like, we're friends again. So that's crazy. But 20 years ago, he was like the coolest guy, coolest metalhead. And I was, well, this is more than 20 years ago now at this point. But when I was 15, he exposed me to Nightwish and bands like Nightwish. So once I saw that, I was like, I like Delane, I like Within Temptation, Sirenia, Trivium, I believe.
Yeah. Yep.
Just like, and then there was power metal bands too that I kind of got into as well, which I can't name off the top of my head, but the symphonic stuff, yes. Nightwish, Within Temptation. Somebody compared my voice to Sharon's, and I'm like, okay, thank you, but
I'll
I
take
don't
it,
believe
right?
you. Yeah. They do compare some of our influences, the sound kind of like old school Nightwish. There's a song called Zombie Queen on the album, and I actually got like at least 5 people that had said that it kind of gives old school Nightwish vibes, which I'm like, okay, cool, because that was the influence that came with it. Not that we were trying to be on the nose, but that's what it came with. So Nightwish started it, and then I personally right now really like Blackbriar. That's my current favorite.
All right. All right. So this is the part of the podcast we call the lightning round, Taryn.
Okay.
All right. Your dream band lineup. Dream band lineup, you and 4 others, dead or alive. Who would they be?
Okay, so Blackbriar, Nightwish. I say the name wrong. I know it's Latin. It's ad infinitum. I don't know. Is that so? If there's 4 others, so there's one more.
One more. Yep.
So Within Temptation.
Good ones.
So it'd be us and them.
First concert you ever attended, who was it?
Oh crap. My first concert was a festival. So I guess I can name Evanescence was there. So I'll just name one of the people that it was. So one of my first concerts was a big festival and Evanescence was there. So that was great.
The album that changed your life, what was it?
I don't think I had one that changed my life. But Nightwish, their album called Once. I believe it's called Once. I have ADHD, so I'm just going off the top of my head.
All right.
Anybody want to correct me down below what the album cover is?
Your go-to vocal warm-up ritual. Do you have one?
Yeah, I actually warm up to every time that we do band practice. I warm up to Going Under by Evanescence. And then there is another song by Nightwish, and it's called Deep Silent Complete. And I try and get to the high notes in that one. And I do that in the car on the way to shows. It's part of my like get pumped, playlist.
Yeah.
So Deep Silent Complete is one of my vocal warm-ups. I can't get as high as Taria, but I'm close.
And one word to describe your sound. What is it?
Haunting.
Haunting. All right.
Yeah.
She is Taryn Nichole, lead vocalist. And they've got a new album coming out. And that album, Not Another Eve, is out now. Check them out. Lilith Rising on all the social platforms. for updates on tour dates and more. But check out this album too, Not Another Eve. Taryn Nichole, thank you so
Thank
much for joining
you.
me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And this is the Metal Queens podcast. Thanks for watching. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. I'm Steve Richards.